Nice to see you all in this amazing venue. Thank you for having us here. As Marcus has said, I'm familiar with this crowd a little bit, and it's nice to see a lot of you without having to wear a mask, which is great. Chris talked about the state of play, and I think he's more qualified than I am. He's closer to how things are happening in the wider community, but it's nice that he's putting such a brave and optimistic spotlight on what's going on in the UK manufacturing against a lot of turbulence and disruption, which, if we join the dots backwards, started before the pandemic with supply chains that have their own mind, where politicians actually don't control them. What I wanted to talk to you about today is a little bit on this clashing of concepts of digital manufacturing, digital coming of age, 4.0 morphing into 5.0, morphing into smart manufacturing, entering the mainstream, whilst we have the imperative of net zero. So what's going on in the industry? I'm a professor of practice. And, I spent some time in Cranfield University, which is the #1 in the UK. Sorry, I'm saying this in Cambridge. Cambridge. Look, we have facilities, amazing facilities, but we do have an airport. They don't. I also run an integrator as a chief commercial officer. We have electronics, we have automation, and we have digital twins, which we think are all needed to provide integrators in the UK that have a suite of capabilities that are not just a one-trick pony of kit, but we do all sorts of things that we feel are necessary for the smalls and the mediums to create a digital transformation strategy so they can compete with everybody else in the world. We know, our American friends are really of the turnstiles there, and some of our Northern European partners as well. So we want to do this for the UK, and we're trying really hard. This, very quickly, what is smart manufacturing? Heading for adaptability, machines that are smart and that can make decisions and really connect supply to demand so a customer can schedule my production. I have to say, the beautiful thing about digital printing and inkjet printing and the print sector is I think it's longer than the rest of manufacturing. And it's so refreshing to me. I'm very passionate about horizontal innovation, and we do some extracurricular activities in Cranfield University with students to make them think wide, to apply the skills. It's so refreshing to see some companies here taking the inkjet technology and horizontally moving into other fields. I think that's extremely refreshing, and I think that's a huge business opportunity for a lot of manufacturers. I've stolen a slide, stolen some information from Make UK, which I think is relevant. What's happening with digital transformation manufacturing in general in every sector? I think that survey from 2017, 2018, from the EEF, before you change your name, I think it's still relevant. It's about why is it not happening fast? I think it's three things: cash, certainty, and capability, the three Cs. And of course, a little bit on the left here, I don't want to be too academic about this, but whoever is sitting in front of a panel of decision makers with a CapEx and a business case, they have to show they've done the homework. And that homework sometimes becomes a little bit complex. They need a little bit of help. Ultimately, those three Cs play a role in adoption. And then we come to the most complex stuff. Getting a little bit deeper here now. We're talking about net zero. Let's be honest, net zero will not happen without sustainability. if you're not thinking about products at the design stage, making them redeployable, reusable, refurbishable, then sustainability doesn't happen. Net zero doesn't happen really easily. And of course, this is the interesting bit. Not many people know this. What happens when of your equipment? Something really strange happens, which our linear mind cannot compute. The cycle time of production goes up. And I've seen so many people in manufacturing pushing a lot of production managers, manufacturing managers, to maximize the utilization of equipment. Here's the thing that anyone can understand. A big motorway, which is a very big pipeline, totally utilized, you're not getting very far fast. That's what happens with machines. People do not understand that. Digital can help make people understand this and stay on the right line of cycle times so that we can be fast. Of course, is digital manufacturing happening really fast? There's also this little concept here. When we come to clarity, certainty, there is a little bit of the squiggle. And I think programs like Made Smarter here in the UK, the work that Chris is doing with Make UK and a lot of other people who are doing fantastic work is going to help someone, a company, an institution, a group of companies to get to certainty closer and get to this level 5 and level 6 of smart manufacturing faster, not to get rid of people, but to enable people in a constrained labor market to do more. And crucially, to get to this, to start grappling with the fact that minerals are scarce, supply chains, we were having a discussion about lithium, batteries, electrification. The supply chain matters. And without it, we're going to falter. And we need to move away from this obsession with efficiency, take a step back, look at effectiveness, and then move to efficiency again. Use digital as a help rather than as an ultimate aim. And think about impact, which I think slowly we're beginning to feel and think about. This is a scary chart, sorry. Chris gave a positive spin on everything. Mine is a little bit more downcast because these graphs tell a terrible story. It says that certainly in the UK we have used the biological resources of the planet for what proportionally is for us by July every year. So by July, the biological resources of planet Earth that belong to the UK, we've just consumed them. And this trend is getting worse and worse and worse. Of course, our children and our younger generation is beginning to notice this, and they keep reminding us very, very loudly at times, very crudely at times, that we need to do something about this. Net zero, the concern of everybody. Everybody knows the heads from net zero, don't quite know how to get there. Technology can help, manufacturing can help. But I have a graph here which doesn't particularly show really well, but it says that direct capture today, direct air capture, is very expensive, but when you get to scale, it gets cheaper. And that happens with every technology on trying to decarbonize so we can create a carbon capture and storage capability. And that matters as well. This carbon accounting to make it clearer, so the greenwashers of this world. So we need standards, and we need to be able to have important for digital. Digital has the answer for that. For modeling our net zero journey. You don't have to be huge. To Richard Darling, the Zion of our industry, sitting there at the back waving. I think he may have mentioned something about carbon footprint of data. About 5 years ago, when I was talking about data, and I got more scared about it when people that were telling me to shut up started not cryptocurrency mining. And then they started talking to me again. And then some interesting people came along and said, here to this. I won't go into that. Richard has data is a tool, but it's not free. It gets charged. It's in the cloud. Where's the cloud? Where's my data? I don't know. How much data do I generate every day? And will that harm the world? And what do I do to compensate for that? AI can help us, but it can hinder us. I think we need to be a little bit smarter about these tools. And I think the digital crowd, the digital manufacturing crowd, should begin to have help. In my group of providing integration and automation to people, I said, this certainty bit, test the design before doing design. I said basic concurrent engineering is important, and the virtual simulation starts with a bit of discrete event simulation when you're talking about manufacturing lines. Remember that? Cycle time goes crazy when you go closer to utilization. Well, how do you not get to that place? By doing some simulation. And of course, digital twin, we have now a UK, Innovate UK sponsored consortium called the Apollo Protocol for Digital Twins. So the building and the manufacturing environment are going to get together to line up the best practice on digital twins. Everyone's invited. The next meeting is on the 17th of November in the AMRC in Sheffield. I think it would be good to join those people. I think digital inkjet is here to stay. It can do all these things. This is one from Cranfield, by the way. Biggest structures that you can ever imagine with additive metals. And this is something I did in Germany a few years ago now, where I thought I was a big pioneer. Took a digital print machine and forced it to build, to make amazing flooring on demand. I'll go very quickly through this, because Chris covered very quickly some of this. The 18th highest proportion of engineering and construction degrees, we are, the UK, lagging behind so many people. And what happens here, this is a survey from the IET, the Institute of Engineering Technologies, that highlights some stuff. Half of the engineers have a sustainability strategy. Important to people to ask those probing questions. So half of them they don't know what to say. Less than 1 in 10 employers have all the skills. They weren't on. They need skills. I tell you that we create great generalists, but we don't give them enough of the soft skills, and than us. We need to learn from them. Skills. So, it's a nice graphic here, but let me finish with this. Manufacturing can make a difference on carbon footprint. We all know this. We don't quite know how to account for it yet. How do we find out how to account for it? We go and search for interesting people who can help us do that in a legitimate way. Universities, institutions, and make a start. Sorry, I go back one. Sustainability by design, digital twins, sustainability by design. If you don't start with things that can be pulled apart and put back together again, I've got a classic example. I've got we all have one of these devices in our pockets. Have you ever tried to take one apart? I'm an engineer, I like to break things. I don't know about you. I can't. Well, I did spend more than £1,000 buying one. And the next upgrade, I think I'm going to buy it again, but it isn't particularly sustainable. So we have to begin to think. The technical skills that we need also involve some design thinking at the start of the journey of sustainability. Otherwise, we're not going to make things happen. And you know, remember that graph that goes downwards on the reds is going to get worse and worse and worse if we don't start with the design things. And data to connect things, to connect systems. Systems are a collection of parts which are interrelated, interdependent, and they interact. Data makes them interact better. But they all have to have a unified purpose to be a system. Data can do that, but data can also tell us on this carbon accounting how much we actually compensate. But the other things to do, working together, not easy. There are ways, there are blueprints. If any of you want to join hands with academia and industry, please come and talk to us. Thank you.